Welcome to the Naked Relationship Podcast. I'm Adam. My beautiful wife and co-host Kelley is not joining us today. It is just me today. And however, special surprise, she will be on Friday's episode. And I'm excited to have her back on the show. So for those of you who don't know, she's been still dealing with a lot of stress at work, home, and all of the above. And we'll talk about all that on the podcast on Friday. We've already recorded it. And so be on the lookout for that episode on Friday. But anyway, so before we get too carried away, let's give a shout out to our favorite sponsor, and that is Alt Playground. So, if you're looking for something naughty, and fun from the safety and comfort of your own home, you don't have to worry about getting on non-secure video chats. You have Alt Playground right there within the platform while you're looking for your next play date. And you can chat with an individual, a couple. You can create a group for a group chat. I think it's awesome, babe. What do you think?
I definitely recommend it, especially in these crazy health-conscious times. You want to be as safe as possible. And I kind of am liking this. Let's meet virtually first before we even risk our health and safety for going out for a drink.
Oh, yeah. It's just really, it boils down to, it's just another way that Alt Playground is changing the game and providing you with all of the naughty fun in one convenient place. Speaking in one convenient place, you have our community on Alt Playground, which you haven't joined, please do. Link is in the show notes below, as well as you can even find our podcast on there while you're looking for your next sexy playdate.
Guys, they're game changers. Altplayground.net.
Yes, altplayground.net. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the Twitter poll of the week, as well as keeping up with my beautiful wife, who runs the Instagram for the majority of time. And so you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TNR Podcasts. That is plural. And so this week's Twitter poll of the week is actually from September 24th. Now, the reason it is from September 24th and not this past week is because the Twitter poll of the week that I had planned for this week ended up being used in the episode that I recorded with Kelley because it was very, very relevant to what we were talking about. So this week's Twitter poll of the week is thoughts on pubic hair. The choices are more the merrier, trimmed, and no gracias. So bringing up the rear of an 8.2% score, more the merrier. Second place, no gracias, 36.7%, and trimmed with an overwhelming 55.1%. Now, this is a very interesting topic, and the reason I chose this Twitter poll, because I know we've done a ton before we actually started doing Twitter polls of the week. The reason I chose this one is because Kelley, she didn't make me. She just said that she wanted to see what Pepe would look like with no pubes. For those of you who don't remember, Pepe is my penis's nickname, given to him by my wife. So she wanted to see what Pepe looked like with no pubes, and so I trimmed him. For the first time in, 5 or 6 years, I've got no pubes. And it literally looks like a fucking baby's penis, just after puberty, of course, but for size-wise. But in terms of like the hair there, it's fucking like, it's like having a beard and then you trim your beard after like 4 years of having the beard. You look weird to most people, or just different. It doesn't look like you, right? Even though it is you, regardless, it looks different. Now, when it comes to Kelley, I really love her bush. So much so that we've named it George. Why? George Bush. Regardless of politics, I think I think that is hilarious. And I love her bush. So much so that even on porn stars or whatever, when I'm watching porn, because I consume a lot of it, I almost need a bush on the people I'm watching. I don't know why, but that's what I enjoy now. And I don't know if that's because I've figured that the more that I can relate to my wife, the more I enjoy the content that I'm consuming. I don't know, but that's where I'm at right now. I mean, there was this one cam model that I was watching and I thought she was so hot, and then I saw the lack of a bush, and then I was starting to, I don't know, I didn't lose my boner, but I didn't watch her for much longer after that. And for those of you who have a bush, don't have a bush, have more than a bush, have less than a bush, good for you. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. Do what makes you happy, and don't do it because I'm fucking saying something. I hope you would never do that. What I'm saying is, what I'm attracted to is different than what you're attracted to and what other people are attracted to, potentially. Because we all have different likes and dislikes. That's what makes us unique. However, right now, for the last several years, I've been on a bush, in a bush, hiding behind a bush, eating a bush, trimming a bush. Sometimes that actually does happen. But yeah, we can just say that I'm a big fan of the bush right now. Not the administration, because let's not talk about politics, but the bush on Kelley hopefully is here to stay. On me, it's growing back, just not fast enough. But I don't know. I think not having a bush on Pepe it can be nice, but at the same time, I don't like it because like my boxers and my jeans, whenever I do wear jeans, and even my shorts, they all are like rubbing the, I guess, razor burn. And so like that doesn't feel so good. But with Kelley, I've seen her without a bush once or twice within our 4 years of being together. And even though her pussy is fucking magical and just perfect and gorgeous, I definitely prefer a bush. So some of the comments on, well, really, the only person to comment on this Twitter poll of the week was Hugo Post's podcast. As in all things with them, the answer is usually in the middle. I guess referring to neatly trimmed. And so, which the bush, I'm a big fan of, but I also agree that I guess I like it more, well, I guess trimmed, right? But I've also been finding myself kind of exploring this rabbit hole of content creators that have, I don't want to say just let it run wild, but they don't trim it. And I've been enjoying that content as well. So I like it trimmed. I just like hair there, I guess, regardless of however much there is. You know, I personally enjoy that. And I don't know. It's just for me, I don't know what it is. I just enjoy it. But that's also something that I don't necessarily need to justify because it's something that I like. And it's just like you don't need to justify what you like or dislike to anyone. You don't even need to justify it to yourself. You just do it. Do what makes you happy. Do what makes you satisfied. So I responded to Hugo's post podcasts. So trimmed, that's my preference actually. And they responded, indeed, it's a good in-between, I like to think. I think that is like the median, right? Where we all think about there's like too much hair and then there's like not enough hair, or, you know, maybe you just don't like any hair there, and that's completely fine too. But for those of us who do enjoy hair, you know, trimmed is a good middle line. I mean, at the same time, it doesn't really bother me. Like if Kelley were to let it grow just out for months and years, that wouldn't bother me. She actually had it like a really big bush going on for a while. It didn't bother me at all. It bothered her, and that's why she got like she trimmed it. But and honestly, like on myself, like it is so easy for me to just like grow it and not even think about it. But until Kelley says something, hey, you need to trim it up, and so then I do. But I don't know. I guess what I was trying to get at is that do what makes you happy, because like Kelley had armpit hair for a while, and she kept asking me, should I shave my armpit hair? And I was like, do you want to? No. Then don't fucking do it. My overall point is just do what makes you happy. If your partner enjoys something else, then maybe appease them. I don't know how your dynamic works, but you're your own person. You're a strong person, and do what the fuck you want to do. But I will say, me personally, I enjoy a trimmed bush. Now, getting into so last couple episodes, we've been outed by our friends. We've been outed by Kelley's sister to her dad. And then we also were outed to Kelley's brother. So we were out at dinner for Kelley's birthday on Friday. And Kelley had kind of teased her brother saying, we're going to go to a bar. Or no, her brother wanted to go to a bar, but we were going to go to a dog bar. And that didn't work out for, I don't know why. But then we ended up going to get dinner for Kelley's birthday. And I asked Kelley while her brother was in the bathroom if she really wanted to go to this bar. And she said yes. And I was like, okay, fine. But we're going to tell your brother what kind of a bar it is. And he sits back down. She brings up the bar. And then she tells him, do you know what a swinger is? Or no, she said, so we're swingers. Do you know what that means? And he's like, I think. And then he referenced some TV show. And so his immediate response to us going to the swinger bar was, I'm going to get laid tonight. Unfortunately for him, the only titty that he might have seen was going to be mine. Kidding. I told him at the restaurant that he might get to see a titty. And then at the bar, because it was so, like, there wasn't a lot of people there, thankfully, we stayed outside almost the entire night unless we went to get a drink. But what I didn't know was that, like, I would end up joking with him later on in the night. I was like, man, it's so dead right now. I didn't know that when I said you might get to see a titty tonight, that it would have been my titty that you might get to see. Anyway, I don't know. So I was a little nervous for her to tell her brother that we're swingers, because I don't know how he would react, because 3 years ago, Kelley and him did not have a relationship at all. And it's almost like a complete 180. Like, the best part of her birthday for her and Thanksgiving was having her brother here. So I think that's fucking awesome, and good on him on them both really for making that relationship happen. So I don't know. I will say this. That was a little bit of a, I don't know what the fuck to do type of scenario, but it worked out in the end. And so everyone but Kelley's mom and stepdad know that we're swingers. And so that's nice. There's less of hiding and lying to them or whatever by not telling them, but I don't know. It is nice, I guess, because I'm an open person. I'm an open book. Kelley's mentioned that many times, but it's nice to not have to hide that, I guess, but I don't know. That's going to do it for this week's episode, guys. It's hard to make content when you don't have anything going on, right? And so that's why I've started doing the Twitter polls of the week, is to try to give us some content and some depth and some conversation while also trying to create a community with you guys, our listeners. And it's being on a break and being like not swinging right now. It's difficult to make this podcast happen all the time because we don't really hide anything from you guys. Like, we tell you about our experiences. Kelley might hide 1 or 2 play dates a week because she's got, let me rephrase. She might hide a play date or 2 from you guys, not because she's afraid of judgment, but anytime I have a play date, you guys know about it. Anytime Kelley has a play date, 90% of the time you guys know about it. We don't really hide anything. And the majority of our experiences have been talked about on this podcast. So, this episode is going to be a short one, but just know it's not because we don't care. It's because we don't really have much to talk about. But I mean, just know that we do love you and that we want to keep the show going and we want to create a community with you guys. And so I will say this, Friday's episode, this episode's coming out on Monday, but Friday's episode will be in conjunction with Kelley. She's joining me back on the show for that episode. And the plan is to ask you guys what questions you would want to ask Kelley. And then she's not going to read the questions beforehand, but in next week's episode, hopefully is when we'll be able to do it. We want to have her answer your questions that you have for her. And I'll include a tweet, or I'll tweet about it later on, and even in an Instagram post or something. And feel free to ask us a question. We'll ask Kelley a question, but also you can email it to us. You can go on our website and drop that. All of the information will be down below in terms of how to get in contact with us in the show notes. And you can also follow us on social media at TNR Podcasts. That is plural, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Our website is thenakedrelationship.com. You can also buy our merchandise on fullswapshop.com, model it for us, whatever you want to do. And you have a strong possibility of being included in our social media. And for those of you who have sent out a message to Kelley on Instagram or even Twitter that I have relayed to her, thank you so fucking much. It means a lot that you guys care. And altplayground.net. Don't forget to check them out. They are amazing. And honestly, if you don't love them, I don't know how to make you happy because they are fucking amazing. So don't forget to check them out. And we will see you guys on Friday. Go Hawks.